What's up, beautiful people? I'm back again with more culture shock between South Africa and Kenya. I'm Kenyan living in South Africa with my family. My name is Penny. For my subscribers, thank you very much for your support. And those who are new and watching, please subscribe, comment below, share this video, like this video, and hit the bell for notification whenever I release a new video. You are the first one to know. Let's get into it. First culture shock for me, where South Africa name different things but same thing in Kenya. It was first one was robot is where the car is waiting, where you want to cross the road and the car is waiting and then you can pass. That is a robot. In Kenya we call it traffic lights, while in South Africa they call it robot. The second one was plastic bag. In South Africa, when you go to the shop to buy things, they put for you a carrier. Those things they put in a carrier bag. South Africa they call it plastic bag, but in Kenya we call it paper bag. In Kenya we call it paper bag. South Africa they call it plastic bag. That was the culture shock for me. The third one was dishes, plate and cups. The South Africa they call it dishes, while in Kenya they call it plates. A plate. They call it plates, while in South Africa they call it dishes. The fourth one culture shock for me was extension or hairpiece. So you know those things when you add on your hair, you plait with it. South Africa they call it extension or hairpiece, but in Kenya they call it braids. Braids. Those you add on your natural hair and then you put it. They call it braids in Kenya. While South Africa they call it hairpiece or extension. The one on straight back or straight up. When you plait with that extension, the extension you plait it, the lines up. They call it straight up. And when you plait it down, they call it straight back. But in Kenya, both of it they call it carrots or cornrows. In Kenya they call it cornrows or carrots, but in South Africa they call it straight up, and straight back. The sixth one was grocery shop. Grocery shop is where we used to buy food and things we used to use in the house. A grocery shop, that is where we used to buy things where you use in the house. Or yeah, in Kenya they call it supermarket. In Kenya they call it supermarket, while in South Africa they call it grocery shop. Do you understand what I'm saying? Grocery shop, and Kenya they call it supermarket. Yeah, that was a culture shock for me. Grocery shop and supermarket. That was the culture shock for me. Yeah. The seventh one was paint. South Africa they call paint the down one. Paint. Not the inner one, the down one. The down one. They call it paint. The formal down. They call it paint. While in Kenya they call it trouser. In South Africa, the one for suit, the down one for suit, they call it trouser in Kenya. While South Africa they call it paint. A paint. Yeah, that was a culture shock for me. A paint. It was a culture shock for me. Yeah. The seventh one was garage. Where you go to put petrol in your car. You understand what I'm saying? The garage. You understand? Garage. South Africa they call it garage, but in Kenya they call it petrol station. In Kenya they call it petrol station. A garage, it was a shock for me. It was culture shock for me. That was a culture shock for me. Calling a petrol station a garage. It was culture shock for me. Yeah. The eighth one was crash. You know when you don't want to have a maid and then you take your child to school. Like, okay, you don't want to have a maid and then you take your child to school from as early as months to 4 years or 5 years. They call it crashia. While in Kenya, they call it nursery school or daycare. They call it nursery school or daycare. But here in South Africa, they say crash, a crash. Yeah. The ninth one is saying askies. Askies. Askies, I don't know if it's Afrikaans or it's Zulu or it's Xhosa or it's Pedi. No. Askies might be Afrikaans. Askies must be African. Maybe I think it's Afrikaans. Askies, to say askies. Askies is to say I'm sorry. In Kenya, in South Africa, they say, "Oh, askies," like maybe you trample on someone's leg or something while you are walking on the street. You say, "Oh, sorry." But in South Africa, they say askies. In Kenya, they say, "Oh, sorry." In South Africa, they say, "Oh, askies." And there is also another thing they say, sorry. With in South Africa, they say, "Oh, shame." It's like they are empathize. There is empathy there. They say, "Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh, ask shame. Oh, sorry. Oh, shame." Askies, oh, shame is the same. I think it's the same meaning as shame and askies, but shame is kind of too much empathy. Like maybe you are going through that. Oh, sorry. Oh, shame. But Kenya, they still say sorry. But in South Africa, they say, "Oh, shame." That there is that there is feeling, like there is that feeling that, oh, you lose someone or something. Oh, shame. Yeah, those are the culture shock for me while I'm living in South Africa. And I'm bringing some more. So watch part 4. You understand what I'm saying? Watch part 5. Those are the culture shock for me since I come to South Africa. I experienced that in South Africa. That was a culture shock for me. And I'm still gonna bring more. Watch out. Watch out part 5.